Speed, precision, determination, and being able to endure under pressure on a world-class playing field. The excellence of athleticism is exemplified in all these qualities. Add to that a community of like-minded people, and you have all the ingredients for a darn good time and some of the best sporting competition you'll find anywhere. Perry Mountain 24-Hour Challenge is the sweet spot of woods motorcycle racing in America. Set in central Alabama's Talladega Forest, the lush greenery of the 1,800-acre Reynolds pasture is God's country for off-road motorcycle riding. It is also a near-perfect variety of terrain for racing. And it's the pride and the labor of love of a group of dedicated local enthusiasts, the Perry Mountain Motorcycle Club. 24 hours for an off-road motorcycle race is highly unusual. Finding near-perfect racing conditions is also hard to come by. And a competition that can be both quite serious and also just a good time play ride for some is unique in motorcycling.
6 men, 1 bike, 24 hours, anything can happen. The most fun you'll ever have riding a motorcycle, period.
Just the nature of this race attracts all kinds of people. Mainly a team competition, solo riders also compete. The range of riders goes from elite to sport class racers. Add to that pit crews to keep it organized, and many people who don't ride but just want to be part of it all. Perry Mountain is one of those competitions that by word of mouth has a reputation that has a real cult appeal with riders across the nation.
This doesn't pay any points. This is nothing but bragging rights.
There's a lot of bragging rights. This is a big deal.
The guys who do the most damage here are the elite and expert class teams, as well as anybody with experience here, really. The top riders are either younger and just plain fast, or older with a cagey assuredness about themselves. The elite teams you can hope to see running up front include these guys from Round Rock, Texas. Except him, he's from Austin. They have experience here, but outside of the riders themselves, they have no pit crew to speak of.
It's interesting, all the guys on our team, we all normally compete against each other. So this is a fun race. It's the only time where we're working on the same team trying to help each other out, whereas the rest of the year we're battling against each other. We're all friends, but we're used to competing against one another.
Garrett Edmonston is considered by more than a few to be the one to watch for sheer speed. His Action Kawasaki team is being carefully watched by two-time winner Alan Gravel.
I admire Garrett Edmonston's team. Garrett is a really good rider. He's extremely fast. He's pretty smart too about how to make things go. And this is not his first year here. To be honest with you, that's kind of the guys that we're really going to have to worry about.
The real Spartans here, though, have to be those who ride solo the entire race. 4-time Ironman winner is Mike Phillips from Vero Beach, Florida.
My best qualities, I think, as a racer, I've steadily been getting stronger each year. It's a lifestyle, more or less. You gotta live, eat, breathe, endurance every day. And you come here and you ride all day long and into the night, and you start really getting drained. If you can do that, then yeah, everyday life seems, piece of cake.
The field of 53 Ironman riders also includes 17-year-old Casey Campbell. She likes the long ride and relying on herself.
Definitely confident that I'm going to do good in Wednesday. I like to know that, I don't have to count on anybody else and anything happening. I know I can do it, so I'm ready to get out there and get her done.
Aside from the serious competitors, the vast majority here are sportsman class racers who are here for an intensive weekend of great riding.
How's it going?
All right, good morning.
You too.
Oh, my hat.
Oh, yeah.
We have a theme every year. Last year we had palm trees. This year it's Christmas in June, just to try to keep you in a cool mindset so you think it's Christmas and you don't have to worry about the heat.
One guy working, 3 guys supervising. That's good.
We actually plan for this race 365 days a year, just constantly. He lives in Indiana, he's in Tennessee, I'm in Alabama, and we're on the phone all the time, trying to get ready, figure out how to go faster next year.
With a common interest in 2 wheels, it all adds up to a thriving social community of riders that spreads out over generations. Over the next 24 hours, we'll see who plays this game the best.
So we've got to be as a team. That's where we're going to do it. 6 of us together all the way to the end. And that's all I got to say. And let's just do it. I've been waiting a year to do this. All right, David. All right.
Central Alabama may look green, but the ground is dusty and dry. Well, last night, as race officials took care of business and riders got their timing transponders, the rain gods smiled on the Perry Mountain Motorcycle Club. The skies opened up with just enough rain to help out the race, which starts at 10 a.m., right after the riders' meeting.
In the middle, you'll click it, look at the speed you're going.
Sportsmen start on the 2nd row. That's all the sportsman classes. The 2 men and the original Ironman start on the 3rd row. The plus 40 Ironmen and the women start on the 4th row.
Classes will start the race in 1-minute intervals. Staging for the start, there are 428 riders ready to compete today.
We're here to win, brother. We're here to win. We'll have a good time. Be safe.
The elite field goes off first. Austin, Texas is sending out Josh Young. Action Kawasaki will try and build a lead with Garrett Edmondson on the bike. And KTM Southeast put speedster Dustin Gibson out first.
Hey, everybody looking at me, right?
Yep.
1 minute!
And here are the solo riders in the Ironman class.
Jim Hill! Here, baby. Let's go, let's go!
There's Casey Campbell, the stylist, right from the start. This is where most racers will settle in to learn the course and find their rhythm. The elite and expert racers running up front have a more aggressive agenda. Putting your fastest rider out first here on a fast course is the way to build a margin early. Well, Action Kawasaki is doing just that. KTM Southeast is in second position, and the other threat in the elite division is from TJ Cycle from Texas, and they're the first with something to report.
About the first lap, well, I got a pretty decent start, about fifth. And then a couple miles in, I swapped uphill, hit a kicker, did a front flip, landed on my shoulder. It's not broken or fractured, I don't think. It's just bruised really bad.
Ready to mix it up with the elite teams is Team Blast Don, currently running in first in the expert division. This patch of God's country, known as Reynolds Pasture, is blessed with near-perfect terrain for riding.
We got about, I'm gonna say 1,800 acres of land here.
We have sand, we have red clay, we have black loam, we have a little bit of rocks, we have hills, we've got open pastures. I mean, we really are blessed with the different terrain.
It is God's country for riding. We got big trees, big pines, or what we would call old growth. But we got a lot of variety here, a whole lot of variety.
All that great stuff is laid out on an 11-mile course that runs in a counterclockwise direction and is designed with fun and sustainability in mind. There is no pre-running the course, though some riders walk it. What are the racers facing out there?
You don't see the course before you get on the bike, and its speed on a bike, of course, changes, whether you've walked it or not. You really don't know what to expect.
Then there'll be some rooty and ruddy and rocky hills that go up that require a little technical expertise.
My advice to you guys, don't try to win it on the first lap. You got 24 hours.
Let's take a look at the course and check out the different terrain.
Started on this one, run a couple laps. This one seized up, the motor seized up. We got the impound bike, started on it, so we're gonna take the top end off the other bike, put on this one, see if we can just finish the race.
Doing well in this race may look like just hard riding, but it requires real strategy to be successful.
The strategy of this race you learn from being here and doing it and watching other people.
Well, it all depends on the 6 riders you got. If you got some that's super good at daytime and they're real fast, you usually run them horses till they don't run anymore. Each team is going to be totally different.
You got to preserve the bike too. You got to have smart riders on your team that are going to be careful with the bike and not take silly chances, because this is a long event and anything can happen.
The first of the leaders to pit after 3 laps is second place KTM Southeast with Dustin Gibson.
It's real fun, fast. Got a couple tight spots that's really gnarly. So that last lap I made, I was going really fast, it felt like, and Garrett pulled me. So I don't know what I did, but I guess he was going faster. We're currently in second. We just did a rider change. Robbie Jinks got on the bike, so maybe it'll pull us into the lead.
The race leader has stayed out an extra lap to build a bigger margin.
I'll see. Maybe it's up for me.
We're in first place. Got off to a good start. Got the whole shot, and about the third turn, I got past my two guys, and I got him over here. And one of the guys stayed with me for a little while, and I happened to break away. Our next rider went out, Joey Baker, and hopefully he can either do 4 laps. If not, oh well. 3's good enough. Just stay on a steady pace.
Lower my front tire pressure about 4 pounds. Okay.
It's just like,
But they're going to let the air out of the core.
I guess you could say this is command central. This is where the riders come through and are scored every lap. There's a red light here, it goes green, tells them to go. We've got a monitor here, and all their teams can look at exactly what we're looking at on the screen here. We're at 2 o'clock in the 24-hour here at Perry Mountain. We put in about 8 laps. It's about 4 hours of riding. Action Kawasaki is in the lead. They've been in the lead from the beginning with KTM Southeast. They're the only 2 teams with 8 laps at this time.
It's about 2:15. We're about 1:57 behind Team 8, the Kawasaki team. So I'm about to get on the bike here and see what we can do to hopefully make up some ground.
It's really rough in the field. Yeah, watch the field. It's a lot more technical than it usually is. It's usually not so twisty. Or you can get going way too fast down some of them hard roads. We're just trying to hang in there close, and then we'll race tomorrow morning.
We've got 22 teams with 7 laps, and the team in 3rd overall, Last Dime KTM.
The Ironman riders here are a very special breed. But why are these athletes so attracted to endurance contests?
I guess doing something that people say, you mean you're riding a 24-hour race on a dirt bike? It's kind of doing something that the average person just thinks is like really crazy.
Woo! Great. All right. It's Ironman. All right.
All right, we've got 2 Ironmen that are in the top 25. Our previous winner, 4-time winner, Mike Phillips, is in 17th. And there's a new guy, Elmer Simons, in 21st overall. They're only 1 lap off the lead lap team.
I've just been trying to be real smooth and be very selective on where I go fast. If I get to anything that I'm unsure of, I just go slow.
How's it going? It's going good. Just had a flat, that lap about a mile in. But
yeah, you got another one?
Yeah. Only bummer is I couldn't hit the jumps I wanted to hit.
For Vero Beach, Florida teenager Casey Campbell, who is riding the race solo, this is a training, fun ride in between her racing schedule.
Actually, I think I'm just gonna catch a little something to eat, maybe get a ride the rest of the afternoon or something. Take it easy. I gotta go to Kentucky next weekend. I don't wanna ever do it if I don't have to.
The formula that the Perry Mountain Club has come up with here is that of fun and a serious challenge. It is evident on the track and up and down pit road. And perhaps no group operates on both levels, as well as the teams from the Arcadian region of Louisiana. They know how to party and run up front in their classes.
It's just the culture that we live around where we live in Acadiana, and we carry it with us everywhere we go. It's just have a good time and have fun. Give it 100%. Our riders are giving it 100%. Right now, our Ironman is in second place, and our sportsman team is in third place. Our expert team fell to second place by a minute, but I think we're going to come back in first place after this lap.
And they're just real steep real quick, so make sure you carry your speed going up them hills.
Do I need to roll off or not?
No, you don't need them. It's a little choppy. Get a wipe so we can get like this gas on. We got to go stop a wipe. Should be all right. Take it, Joe. It's pretty choppy. It's really nothing to keep it. I kicked it and it just went blah.
Tell me about that first lap.
Just lots of traffic. Had to pass 1 million people. I just couldn't get around. The guy in the KX250 behind me, I passed him twice, and one thing came out for the Moose Trail, came out on a little red dirt road, and I was like, I got him. When I jumped past some jumps and that, and went through some bushes and got gleams in my glasses, couldn't see where I was going, and then went with the trail. I stalled the bike, had to start the bike, and 2 guys got by me again.
Second place, KTM Southeast, has caught and passed early race leader Action Kawasaki, who now has developed problems.
Okay, we're looking at a little bit before 4 o'clock. We just had a rear brake failure. The brakes overheated and boiled the fluid, and we're pretty comfortable. We're still in the strike zone, so it's going to be a good day for us.
We finally took the lead. We've got about a 4.5 minute lead right now. I think the number 8 teams had some brake problems.
The current race leaders know what it takes to be a contender, to be somebody at this race.
It's a challenge, and that's what all of us off-road guys are kind of about. You start getting your riding gear on when it's getting close to your time to go, and you know you got to get motivated to do it because you got 5 other guys depending on you. And we've all got little quirks about the bike that we like, so we kind of have to compromise on that and kind of adjust and adapt and try to find a place somewhere in the middle so everybody can be at least a little bit comfortable. Dustin Gibson's a really good starter. He can go as fast as just about anybody in the country. Robbie Jinks, he's as fast, if not faster than Dustin. He's leading the National Hare Scramble Series right now. Michael Grizzle, he's been doing this just as long as I have. He's really smart about taking care of the equipment, not running into stuff that gives us flat tires. Jason Chancey, he's not as old as me and Michael, but he's a little older than Dustin and Robbie, so he's kind of right in the middle. And Tommy Viator, he was our go-to guy the very first year. He's just tough. He's just really mentally tough. Our team is really strong, and I guess the word that would exemplify them the most is they're fast but smart fast.
Those guys know how to win, and any serious athlete will tell you that you've got to get your mind right to win.
Being mentally prepared is very, very important. Once a guy gets down mentally, it's hard to get that back. You have to kind of keep each other motivated.
In the heat of the battle, you know, it's not hard to get in the zone. I've always said if you got it in your mind, you can do it, you know. You're just trying to get to the front, trying to catch the guy in front of you.
Most guys go out with an attitude, hey, this is a fun weekend. That's the zone to get in. They go out with an attitude, hey, no points. They go out and they have the best ride ever when there's no pressure on them at all.
10 seconds. 10 seconds.
The idea for a 24-hour race in America's richest woods racing region belongs to the Perry Mountain Motorcycle Club of Maplesville, Alabama. The Perry Mountain Club are just a group of people that like to spend time with each other and ride.
Yeah, around here there's not much to do in this part of Alabama, so we all get together on weekends, ride motorcycles, and kind of club got started from there, and it was just what we do, and we like doing it.
They also put on a lot of races.
Well, it actually starts back when you're younger, you race yourself and you're competitive, and after you get older, you got to find something else to fill the spot. We try to put on competitive races for people to come to. We got like 50 club members, and most of them work real hard. We think everybody needs to keep safety in mind first. I love every rider here. Without the riders, we're not nothing.
The club is part of a social community that has been the backbone of motorcycling in America since the early 20th century.
Come on, let's get going. That's what the crowd is saying. Here you see a group of folks who love the thrill of the great outdoors and the call of the open road. This is just one of the hundreds of local clubs throughout the country devoted to motorcycling.
The gypsy culture of riding and the burgeoning discovery of America created destinations where racing came to be the big attraction. The connection between motorcycle clubs and racing still thrives, and based on the reputation of the 24 Hour, the Perry Mountain Club must be doing a great job. Central Alabama people and places are a rich part of the country. The communities are full of history and small-town life. In the 19th century, trade up and down the Alabama River established the area in and around Selma as a commercial center. The Civil War was a part of this region. Over 100 years later, the issues of personal freedom continue to permeate the area. The civil rights movement, the work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., gave special meaning to Selma, Alabama that is recognized worldwide. Today, the small town's charm and slow pace stand out and still predominates the character of the region. The local industry comes from the land. With pine forests all over it, it is no wonder that logging and forestry products drive the local economy. The motorcycle races the Perry Mountain Club holds also contribute to the economic health of the area, and the community gets involved.
Just been a community thing. Whenever we need some help, all we got to do is holler. It's people all in the community that come. It's just no problem to get help.
As the afternoon wears on, fresh riders get their chance on the bike. And the serious guys running up front stay on their task. And that includes the guys from Round Rock, Texas. Their tough way to go seems to be just letting up.
We had two good riders to go, and we're working our way back up. I got on the bike, the rear sprocket fell off, or almost fell off, went back out, had a flat tire, came back in, and then I was able to put two good laps together and make up some positions. I think we're around 10th or 12th overall, I don't know.
After about 8 hours, or a third of the race completed, elite teams are in first and fourth, and two expert teams are fighting over second place, within minutes of each other. The number 4 team, Last Dime, is in third place.
And the 5 team came in about a minute ahead of us. We're now second and third overall. We've been back and forth all day. It's probably going to be a really tight race. The lap times are pretty close with all the guys on both teams. We did have just a major pit stop. We changed complete rear brakes, new tire, oil change, and air filter. Did that in 2 minutes. To go through that and only lose a minute there, that's pretty good.
With the night riding just ahead, teams will be doing a thorough service and attaching headlights at these late afternoon pit stops, and the race leaders are due in.
This is probably going to be the most important pit that we do for the entire event because we've got to get the light on and it's got to work, and then we've got to get tires changed, brake pads changed, and I think last year when we done that, it took us a little over 2 minutes to change 2 wheels, put the light on, gas up, and rear brake pads.
But I'll tell you, man, it's real ruddy. Stay on the edges of the turns, and stuff like that, in and out.
Yeah.
Not too bad, man.
Stay right in the center line. You can get outside, get on the outside, the inside, things like that, and just get right out the ruts. Time of night it gets a little bit rough because it's not really dark and it's still daylight, and it's a little bit dark in the woods with the dust. You see a lot of shadows, so it's getting a little bit hard to see. I think I passed number 8 there. We put them a lap down, but like I say, it's 24 hours. It's a long race. Them guys probably had a little bit of bad luck with some brake problems and stuff, so it can just as easily happen to us. It ain't over till it's over.
The early leaders, number 8, are also doing a rider change with their fastest rider going out now to chase down the KTM Southeast boys. Riders don't have all the fun. Here's a pit crew that seems to love the controlled chaos.
Duct taping this down. I got one. I got one more to do. I get it closed in right. Y'all duct taping this down? No, that's just a tab right there. I got it. Not them all. Go ahead and put it on.
Even the smallest teams here know that teamwork and pit crews are essential for getting the job done.
The pits at this race are really important. One thing, you got pit road speed limit, which is 10 miles an hour, and it's really hard to go that slow.
Got to have organization, and everyone knows what they got to do. So we have everything laid out in order, so we just grab it and go, and everyone's focused on what we need to do.
The pit crew's one really got it rough. We have some 6-man team, that's all they got. They're the mechanic. They're the guys that bring it together.
You can't come out here with 6 guys and win it. You got to have a pit crew behind you.
Oh man, you couldn't do it without these guys. I tell you what, our pit guy is so important that I think we need to go out and buy him a big steak whenever we get back home.
If you lose time in the pits, it's just like NASCAR. You can lose the race here because while you're pitting, if your pit stop don't go as fast or as smooth as everybody else's, that's time that they're making back on you or getting ahead of you, depending on the catch.
Like in the team situation, you got to work with 6 other guys, and
for 24 hours, it is a marriage. You're committed to that guy, and that guy's committed to you. You better hold up your end of the bargain, because I'm gonna hold up my end.
While the racers fly through the woods, a stretch next to the clubhouse and open pasture is currently pit road, the instant community for the weekend. filled with encampments. The pits are a kind of a family room, a motel room, as well as a speed lab and an impromptu workshop.
Was 130 play actually. Put the other lever back on. It was working.
It is here where the racers will regroup and try anything to counter the travails of the epic seat time that comes with all this.
I've got anti-monkey butt powder. Not only is it good for your butt, but it works good with your hands to prevent nasty blisters that you get here. So I got one kicking right there, and I'm going to try to prevent it a little bit. All right. So that's the plan. We'll see how it works.
Out on the course, Ironman leader Mike Phillips has been challenged and passed by rookie Elmer Simons. But there's still 16 hours to go. And as everybody here knows, when it gets dark, everything changes.
We're about 10 hours and 15 minutes into the event, and this is where it really starts. People come in, make adjustments for night, get their helmet lights working. The main thing you'll see beginning now is a little bit of panic with people having light trouble, and some of that's their own fault from not being prepared.
When the lights cut off at night, it gets real dark in them woods. And you hear all kind of noises. You just don't need to have trouble at night. You need to have a good light system. The more lights, the better.
It's a little harder to read the terrain because it's darker. And with the shadows and everything, and then the ground being even darker, it makes it even more of a challenge. You're really looking at 12 hours in the darkness, so it's a lot of unknown out there. And a lot of things happen from now until the sun comes up.
Up in the woods, it's a little bit strange. Yeah, there's some weird things out there in those woods. It's just a little spooky.
Yeah.
You know how everybody's scared of the dark a little bit, so you have this in the back of your mind. What's around the next corner?
Nighttime is when all the little goblins come out. Things that you didn't really pay attention to during the day will scare you at night because you don't see it until you're right on top of it.
When the sun goes down, the course changes completely. Even though you've been around it 20, 30 times by that time, the landmarks you had before, you used, you've seen, they're not there, so you can't see but right where your light is on. We have some guys come back in at night and say, I'm not going back out no more. Just cannot ride at night. Then we have other riders come in and they say, hey, put me back on as soon as possible. I like it, I'm having fun, I want to go back out. If you can stay within a minute or two of your margin of what you've done in the daytime, you're doing pretty good at night.
One of our members said, you know, my time improved from my daylight riding to my night, because he said, I couldn't see all those trees encroaching or all those little cracks or crevices or rocks, so I didn't worry about it. He said, I just rode.
So, what is the status on the guys who are running up front?
All right, at 10 hours and 15 minutes in, we've got the KTM Southeast team, team number 2 in the lead, and they've got a lap on everybody. We've got 2 other KTM teams, open expert teams, not elite teams, that are battling for second overall. The other elite team, the Action Kawasaki team, has had some brake problems and having a few others to deal with, but it's another 12 hours, so we'll see what happens. We're not even halfway yet, and every minute counts in this thing.
The leaders are all due in for their first pit stop in the dark.
Well, we're about halfway through, and we've got a lap and like 5-minute lead, but the Kawasaki team's putting their big gun on now. And them in second place are really close, so You know, tomorrow morning the Cowboy team could be back up there if we have some problems. So we ain't resting on our laurels at all. We're going to keep pushing.
We're in the number 2 position overall right now. We've got the number 4 team right behind us. We've had a very hot battle with them for the last, I don't know, 2-3 hours probably. We've been really close. And the number 8 team, which is an elite team, they had some problems earlier. And they're still behind us, but they're coming on strong.
Overall, we're 4th. I think we're about 30 seconds from 3rd and about a minute and a half from 2nd. We actually are making up some time. I had to pull in earlier. I was planning on doing 4 laps again, but instead I had to do 3. We had some light issues. The lights working good, but just really can't see all that well. So we had to double up on the lights, and our next rider's going to go out with 3 helmet lights and 4 lights on the bike. We got some good riders coming up. Hopefully they can just turn some good lap times at night and just stay consistent and steadily pick away time.
Now the race has reached its halfway point. 12 hours yet to go.
You know, most races 2 to 4 hours long. And about 4, 5, 6 o'clock late in the afternoon, you're thinking the race should be over with. You're not even halfway yet. But about 10 o'clock, about halfway, you're just wondering if you're going to get to the end or not.
Out in the dark of the woods, the riders are on their own, while the pits becomes the pulse of the race.
Yeah, the pit crews one really got it rough. They don't get to close their eyes. They got to stay up. They got to know which rider's coming up at night. They got to wake him up in time for him to get ready. Some of them takes 10 minutes, some takes 30 minutes to get ready. The night shift is rough on them. They got fixed bikes at night with not much light around.
All right, brakes are good.
On pit road, you know, it gets pretty wild sometimes, but it stays under control. You know, everybody knows the riders have got to come down, but you'll see a lot of spectators. You know, you get to walk down pit road and get to check out the teams when they come in and see what they're doing, and it's pretty interesting.
We're good. Team 71 is
We'll see what happens when the sun comes up.
They put the classes up there. They show you where you are, what your fastest lap time was, how far you are behind the overall leader. It's nice, but it needs to scroll a little faster so you can find out where you are.
The real race battle so far is for 2nd and 3rd place, going back and forth between the 2 top expert teams.
Okay, so we turned a 37-minute lap. Do I hear that right?
Number 5 did.
Okay. And you hear Josh out in the field? Okay, sounds good. Yeah, we're not gonna even gas. We're just gonna put a new rider on. Hammer down.
Bike light. Here he goes.
Okay, thanks. He's coming in.
Coming in. 4:35 now, and we're still running in 3rd overall. We lost about 8 minutes to the number 5 team during the night. Had some issues with helmet lights, had to pit more than we needed to, and their man, Clint Robertson, cut some really good lap times during the night. The sun will be up soon, and we'll be able to get back up to full speed. I mean, we're still close enough that we can rein this thing back in and still make a tight race. 8 minutes can be overcome. We got 7 hours to do it. Let's see if we can do it.
We'll be going to lead probably about 5, 6 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So we've been in a pretty good while, I believe. Yeah, we're trying to, keep a good pace going, but, yet play it smart. There's no need killing ourselves. We got a big lead, so you Want to play it a little bit cautious, just keep a good pace going and not do nothing stupid because, you know, still a little wild. A good lead can go to you know what real quick, so you got to play it safe.
At one point, just before dawn, the hubbub and din of the day's racing seems to get quiet for a moment of rest.
It's 4:30 in the morning. Most of the workers took a nap. We're just trying to stay warm here by the fire and keep pit road under control and just hope everything's going well, listening by the radio, make sure ain't nobody down out on the trail. We got a few people out there still working, riding around, checking the trail, just sitting here waiting. Everything seems to be going real good. We ain't had no problems, nobody hurt. Trail holding up well. Just got cold and had to build a fire.
The first sign of the new day is on the horizon, where light is breaking through the darkness, and riders still rely on headlights to show the way forward.
Everything good?
When the sun comes up, the race is on. You start to see people smiling again because they know it's almost over. That's when we really start putting our push on. You're so far into it, everybody's kind of tired. Time to either put up or shut up.
All right, it's 6 a.m. here in South Alabama, and we're 20 hours into the 24-hour here at Perry Mountain. Sun's coming up, guys been at it all night, and one thing they'll be dealing with, even though it's good to see the sun up after a night of darkness, the sun will be catching a glare in your eyes in certain places that you're not normally out riding at 6 o'clock in the morning. So that's a pretty good challenge for them.
Along with the renewal of the morning light and hard racing, everyone wants to consolidate their position with the final hours ticking down to the finish.
We've got KTM Southeast still pretty much commanding everything. They've got a full lap lead. They've got 37 laps this morning at 6 o'clock. We've got Spanner Wrench and the Graham Last Dime team 1 lap behind them, and they're about 5 minutes apart. Action Kawasaki boys have kind of worked their way into 4th overall. Our Ironman competition, we've got Simons from South Africa, and with an unbelievable 30 laps this morning, and then Mike Phillips leading the 40-plus Ironman with 25, which is nothing to sneeze at. So that's pretty much where we're at with 4 hours left to go, which a whole lot can still happen in 4 hours.
The battle for second overall and first in expert has not let up. Number 5 and number 4 have swapped the lead at least 8 times, with no more than 8 minutes separating them throughout the race. At dawn, number 5 Spanner was in second overall and first in expert by 6 minutes. Right now, with Pete Smith on the bike, they're running 31 to 32-minute lap times and are suffering from never having changed their rear tires. Just behind them, in third place, number 4's Mike Sampson, who just got off the bike, turning 30-minute laps, made up 3 minutes in 3 laps. And now, with only 90 minutes left, John Robbins is going even faster, turning 29-minute laps. He's only 2 minutes behind, and he's closing on second place with Ian Sherwood on board. Who says a close competition doesn't bring out the best in racing? Let's check with our Ironman leader, who has only gotten off the bike for a total of 1.5 hours in the last 20.
I've never done a 24-hour before, so racing through the night like this, wow. I mean, these last few laps, I'm like, man, I need a break. I've just been trying to be real smooth and be very selective on where I go fast. Fast at night, it was really cool, so I didn't use too much energy. Get down here. Minutes here. Well, I want to end the race off.
You got 3 hours. You need to do 2 loops, maybe 3. No. Headlights.
Iron woman Casey Campbell from Vero Beach, Florida, must have gotten some sleep because she's still doing wheelies at this late stage. And what about the Round Rock, Texas crew? These elite class racers weathered early problems and have maintained a strong 5th overall. And the Louisianas from Arcadiana region have done well with determination and a party vibe. Up front, race leader KTM Southeast is clicking off laps and doesn't appear to be in any jeopardy. But many times, blissful race leaders have had it in the bag, only to see their fortunes unravel in the closing moments. However, the real drama still stays high as the battle for second place and first in the expert class gets even more crucial. The 6-minute margin at dawn for the number 5 Spanner wrench is less than a minute now. The third place team's John Robbins is fresh and continues to turn in blistering 29-minute laps. And indeed, John Robbins has passed them and moved last dime into second overall and first in the expert class with an hour and a half to go. Team leader Donnie Graham credits using riders as strategists as crucial in the team's decision-making. Is number 5's tired riders and worn rear tire and last pit stop proving their undoing? We'll find out. After once around the clock, this year's edition of the Perry Mountain has come to the 24th hour. The long battle for second between the Last Dime and Spanner Wrench teams is in its final moments, and both have pushed each other to stellar performances.
15.
The winner of the Perry Mountain 24-Hour Challenge is KTM Southeast, who is victorious with their methodical, crafty style of racing. Second place goes to the Last Dime KTM team. This expert-level team beat the other elite squads and put in an amazing performance to come from behind.
It came down to the last lap. We won by less than a minute after 24 hours of racing. We won the expert class and finished second overall, beat some of the elite teams, had a really great race. We came from 8 minutes down with 7 hours left, and man, my guys rode so hard. I mean, it didn't get any better than that.
Team Spanner Wrench takes home a highly deserved third place. And early leaders Action Kawasaki set the fastest lap of the race at 27 minutes 41 seconds. Despite mechanical problems, they hold down fourth place overall. The Ironman division is won by South African Elmer Simons, who ended up 41st overall.
Before the event, I didn't know what strategy to use or what to do, so I just rode, and I didn't ride fast, I just rode smooth just to save my energy. Yeah, I couldn't have done it with all the guys back here that stayed up all night running after and looking after me and keeping track of my times and everything. So I just had to do the easy parts and ride the bike. I love riding the bike, so it's all good.
With each year, this event continues to build its reputation and attract more interest. The elite and expert teams delivered performances worthy of their status as the best riders on hand. And for the third time, KTM Southeast showed their expertise as specialists in endurance woods racing. The core of the racing field, those hundreds of racers and their crews, have, by just being part of it all, contributed to making this competition the premier race of its kind in America.
This was the best. Never done a 24 before. But today you could see good, and then you could really get a rhythm, and the flow was great. Our team done a good job. We come in third.
Hey, is this a video?
You're whooped when you leave here, but like I say, you got a smile on your face and you want to come back.